Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. I hope you're having a positive and productive day so far. I'm Kel with the Planner Aisle, and today I'm reviewing the November Deluxe box by 8Lotus and sharing all the ways you can use what's inside. I can't believe we're in November already. Part of me is not ready for 2026, and the other part of me is like, God, get me out of 2025. I'm in full New Year planner prep mode, and I'm really hoping that the next few sub boxes will have some items or tools that I can use in my agendas for next year. The next 2 months, I'll be filming all of my setup videos and going through what I'm using and not using for 2026. My custom VDS just came in yesterday, and I'm so excited to set it up. This is the agenda I'll be using as my business planner. It's fully customized from head to toe, so be sure to follow for that full walkthrough. But getting back to the box, make sure to stick around until the end for my final thoughts and rating. And if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and do all the YouTubey things. I do these detailed reviews every month, so you can decide if the subscription is the right one for you. As always, feel free to leave me a comment below with any questions and let me know if there's any topics you'd like for me to include in my next video. Without further ado, let's hop in. So first we have our vellum card that details what's in the box. The first two categories are what's included in the classic subscription, and all three are included in the deluxe. Next we have a thank you card, the horizontal calendar card for November, and a journaling card that says live less out of habit, more out of intent. These come in every box. And then for deluxe subscribers, we have our accessories pack. Each one comes with a monthly intention card, 3 matching journaling cards, 3 smaller photo print cards, and a large date card. Looking at the intention card first, this is a smooth, heavyweight cardstock with a light colored beigey background that looks like some kind of plant. I can't really tell. The print on these typically match the seasonal dashboard for the month. Our intentions for November are grateful for simple moments, honor the quiet season, and collect words of wisdom. Very spot on and relevant as we enter the holiday season. The matching journaling cards are in white, black, and this grayish tan color, very neutral. And then our 3 photo print cards are leaves, a cup of coffee, and a picture of the moon. I'm still thinking of ways to use the photo print cards in my agendas, but for now I keep these with my other journaling and planner cards. And then we have our large date card for November. These live in my main agenda, and this is where I mark birthdays, bills, events, and anything else that I like to keep visible in my planner pocket. Next, we have our set of dashboards. We have 2 plastic and 2 cardstock. First is the Grateful Dash. This is a super thin, translucent matte plastic. On the front, you have grateful, an adjective at the top in all caps, a large G in the middle, and then the definition at the bottom that says a deep feeling of appreciation and thankfulness for the kindness and blessings received. This is a very simple and straightforward dashboard that fits the November theme really well, not just for Thanksgiving, but also as we kind of mentally reset and prepare for the new year. Gratitude is always helpful when it comes to putting things in perspective, and this is a great dash to live in your agenda as a reminder to take a step back and acknowledge the small things that have happened this year that you should be grateful for. It comes paired with the abstract acrylic dashboard, and I think they've sent this style before, just with a different color pattern, but I love this dash. I'm a big fan of these prints without text on them. It allows you to use them with vellum or as dividers if you choose to. They also layer super well, as you can see here. I do like these together, but I also feel like the Grateful Dash may have paired better with a lighter colored cardstock just to soften the look and match the tone a bit better, but it's still a nice set. For me, I have a lot of gratitude dashboards that I've collected over the years, and I don't use them at the moment. I track gratitude in a separate notebook, but this would look nice in either a gratitude or well-being planner, or if you want to use it seasonally for a couple months as a sort of affirmation page. The abstract print I'll definitely end up using. I love layering. I do it in all of my agendas, so this will definitely get layered under something really nice set and a nice pairing for November. Next is the monthly dashboard. This is in the same translucent plastic as the Grateful one. We get one of these each month in a different style. For November, you have chapter 11 at the top with November in stacked text underneath. And this is one of my favorite layouts that they send, along with the single letter style as well. I don't use these monthly covers before my months or weeks, but I have been trying these out in the front of my agenda to see how I liked it, and I do like having it in the front. They look really nice, especially layered over the seasonal dashes. I'm not sure if I'll do the same thing next year. I'm honestly on the fence. I like these and I want to use them, but I also like having a permanent vellum in the front and just changing out the seasonal dashes underneath, but we'll see. I still have a couple of months to make up my mind. It comes paired with the seasonal dash for November. This is the soft Pampas dashboard. It's a heavyweight cardstock and dual-sided as well. And you have this really soft, pretty print of Pampas grass. You can really see the texture and detail in the plant, and it looks like it's blowing slightly in a dull sunlight. Super pretty, and it has a wintry feel to it. This is one of the more subtly themed seasonal dashes, but even so, it still feels like November. I don't know anything about pampas grass. I didn't even know if it was a real plant until I Googled it, but I always see this in the shops and stores around holiday time, so I'm assuming it must be one of those plants that's associated with winter or the holiday season. I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but I like this a lot and it fits the November theme really well. These look nice paired together, and I also like this one underneath the Grateful one too. Another great set of dashboards and a nice selection for the month. Next, we have our set of inserts. Each month we get 4. For November, our inserts are order tracker, quote journal, weekly hour, and payment tracker. So starting with the order tracker inserts first, there's 15 sheets front and back, so 30 pages total. On the front, you have 4 identical sections. Each section has a line to write the shop, a spot for the date order, the price, and the order number, a graph grid to write out the details of what you ordered, and then underneath, you have a dial to check off when it shipped, when you received it, space at the bottom for any notes, and then a rating chart to rate either the product itself or the customer service. So right off the bat, these are perfect inserts as we prep for the holiday season and great ones to keep on hand for anyone in the midst of planner shopping like I am. I was just telling myself yesterday that I need some order tracker inserts. We have the order tracker cards and stickies, which are great. I use them all the time. In fact, I just used one earlier this week, but these stickies, for example, are really geared more for one-off purchases rather than bulk buying. If you're placing a lot of orders, this isn't really practical, which is where inserts can come in handy. It allows you to track a large number of orders on one sheet, and because you have 8 sections total on one page, these are great for grouping purchases together, which is perfect if you need to keep track of how much you're spending. So for example, let's say you bought a new planner and you're buying inserts and accessories for it. You can use this to keep track of your order details, but you can also use it as an easy way to tally up how much you've spent as you place each order. You could also put a budget here at the top, say $200, and then as you place each order and write in the amount, you can subtract each purchase from your starting amount. You can do the same thing for gifting with the holidays coming up. You could have a sheet for each member of your family with a budget at the top, or if you aren't concerned with a budget, you could simply use it to keep track of all of your orders so you don't forget what it is that you purchased, especially if you're buying gifts for a lot of people or if you're placing multiple orders at once. For me, I've been making a lot of purchases in preparation for 2026, and I would have loved to have these last month, but I still have a lot of purchases left to make, so I'm really looking forward to using these. Looking at the actual layout here, it's a nicely sized and balanced tracker, and I love how they have the shop at the top instead of further down, like the sticky notes. It was my one pet peeve about the stickies. I also like that you have space for the order details and notes. It allows you to list out what you ordered so you don't forget, and then add things like, was it shipped USPS or FedEx? Are there any special fees you have to pay? It's also a good place to mark if you expect any delays, mainly if you're placing international orders. You have plenty of space to write as many details as you want while still being compact enough to list 8 orders per page. This is such a timely and functional insert, by far my favorite this month, and I haven't even seen the others. There's also a ton of sheets here too, so it should last you a while. Second are the quote journal inserts. There's 20 sheets front and back, so 40 pages total. Each sheet has 5 identical sections. You have a field to write the date and the source with a horizontal graph grid underneath. So I'm pretty sure these are meant as a place to list quotes. Looking back at the intention card, this one says, I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but it says gather and write down quotes that inspire you. They often take on new meaning each time you return to them. So taking it at face value, it looks like this is pretty much a spread to track your favorite quotes, which, like the order tracker, is very simple and straightforward. I do love the idea of logging quotes. There's a lot of times I hear things or read quotes that I want to remember for one reason or another, but I'm not a huge fan of this layout for that. Space-wise, I think it's great, but having a date field and a source field, it makes it look a lot more formal than I would like to see for this type of tracking. Assuming you're going to have a mix of inspirational sayings, maybe some funny quotes or something, I would have liked to see something a little less structured, maybe like rounded boxes or a pre-printed quotation icon or something to add a lighter feel to the layout, maybe even removing the date field altogether, but all that's strictly stylistic. Functional wise, this works well and it still gives you ample space to add any decorative elements that you'd like. For me, I'm not sure if I'll use these. I may at some point though, so I'll definitely keep them on hand. I will say, because there's not a whole lot of text, you can repurpose them if you wanted to. You could use a page flag or a washi to cover up the text and then use it as a checklist or a task tracker. And because there's 5 boxes per sheet, you could use this as a weekday tracker as well. So if you work Monday through Friday, you could use each box to list priorities or specific goals or tasks that you need to complete that day. If you're a student, you could use it to assist you with tasks related to your courses, maybe use it to track deadlines or project due dates. You could even split each box in half and use each side for a different purpose, or use it as a compare and contrast spread if you're trying to make a decision between multiple choices. Either way, it's a useful insert no matter how you choose to use it. Next are a set of weekly hourly inserts. These cover a period of 14 weeks. On the back of the cover page, you have a column labeled this week and one for priorities, followed by columns for each weekday, each one with 5 blank lines for notes for the day, and then an hourly schedule from 6 to 12. On the second page, you have 2 columns to list to-dos with columns from Friday to Sunday and a separate notes column at the end. So these are really structured, nicely designed weeklies for those who prefer hourly layouts. And I like that even though you have a full schedule for each day, they still give you a lot of space for notes and tasks. I purchased a similar layout last year. Since my job is really meeting heavy, I wanted to try an hourly layout to see if that would work better than the horizontal weeklies I'd been using. And while I liked the idea of an hourly layout, the one issue that keeps these from being practical for me is not having half-hour blocks. If you do have a job that's meeting heavy, using these for classes, or tend to schedule in half-hour increments, this is going to be difficult to plan on. And because these columns are so narrow, it's also tough to create your own blocks if you wanted to split each line. It also doesn't give you a whole lot of space to write in detail, so if you do like to write out appointments or tasks, it's going to be hard to fit it all on one line. On the opposite side, this would be an excellent layout for minimal time blockers or those who time block in increments rather than specific time slots. So for example, let's say you split your day up between work tasks and home tasks. This could be a good spread for you. Maybe you have morning meetings, you go to the gym at lunchtime, work on a specific project in the early afternoon, and then go out to dinner. You can use a highlighter or page flags to cover the time frame and utilize another method like a digital calendar to log the detail. If you're not a time blocker, but you write in shorthand, these may work for you as well. And it covers a wide time span, so it should work for a variety of schedules. I don't have any plans to use these. I absolutely need half-hour blocks. I'm still using my weekly inserts that came in one of their boxes earlier this year, and I just repurchased these for 2026. But if you're a fan of hourly layouts and you don't need 30-minute blocks, then this is a really great spread. You've got plenty of space and room to include your schedule and priorities with extra space for notes and to-dos. I think a lot of people are going to like this. The last inserts are the payment tracker inserts. There's 10 sheets front and back, so 20 pages total. Each page has 3 identical sections. You have a line to write the store, the date, platform, total amount spent and amount due, a few lines to list the items you bought, and then 4 lines numbered 1 through 4 with dials that I'm assuming is where you list and check off each payment that you make towards your purchase. So these are interesting. I do think they're a great way to track purchases that you're paying off. I feel like I may be missing something though, or I may not be understanding the full intention. If it's to track payments for a specific purchase, it looks like this is meant for you to pay it off in 4 payments, which may or may not be feasible for you depending on what you're purchasing and the total price. So for example, I know PayPal has that pay in 4 option when you make online purchases. These would be great for that. But if you're buying, let's say, a washer and dryer with a credit card and there's a 12-month no interest if paid in full in that 12 months, then you'd be making 12 payments, not 4. So I'm not really sure what the purpose of the 4 bottom sections would be. These are payment tracker inserts, so in theory, you can use these to track maybe recurring payments, which all of these fields would be great for, especially for tracking payments related to a big purchase or a life event like moving expenses or an education expense or something. But that still doesn't explain these 4 lines here. I'm honestly stumped. So let's say you're moving and you're buying furniture and the whole purchase is like $5,000 and you're going to make a monthly payment each month for a year. I mean, I guess you could divide that by 4 and then write in the amount that you would have paid after each quarter. So if it was 5,000 total, that would be $12.50 for each line. But then you'd only be checking each dial every 3 months instead of each time you made a payment. So that wouldn't be really practical. I don't know, guys. I mean, if you make a purchase that you can pay off in 4 payments, then these would be great. But if your payment schedule doesn't fall within that time frame, I'm not really sure how functional these would end up being. Again, I may be missing the point entirely with this. That's definitely a possibility. If y'all know what the intention of these inserts are, please let me know. In the meantime, though, I'll keep them in storage. Next, we have a set of bill tracker sticky notes. There's 25 sheets on each pad, so 50 total. At the top, you have a space to write the month and year, and then 3 lined columns underneath, 1 to write the date it's due, 1 to write the bill, and 1 with the dial to write the amount and check off when it's due. So these are a great set of sticky notes, especially for those who don't have a dedicated space in your agenda to mark bills. You can keep these on your weekly or monthly spreads so you don't forget what's due. It's also a great alternative if you have space on your spreads to mark when bills are due, but you prefer to use that space for something else. There's 7 lines here, which isn't enough space to list out every single bill, but what you can do is use it to list out all of the bills that require you to physically make a payment rather than those that are auto-drafted from your account. That's what I do on my monthly. I track all my bills in my budget planner, which is like 27 or 28 bills total, but in my main planner, I only list out the bills that I have to go on a portal to pay. So for me, that would be things like rent, electricity, and any credit card payments if I have a balance. Overall, I really like these little stickies, and I just love that 8Lotus sends 2 thinner pads instead of 1 thicker one. It lets you store them in different areas if you want to, and it makes it easier to fit in your planner pockets if you choose to store these in your agenda. And because they are sticky notes, you can use them somewhere like a wall or desk calendar, or just leave it visible on your desk. I don't have plans to use these right now. I already have a method to track my bills and expenses, but if you're looking for a quick way to track upcoming bills and due dates, then these are a great option for you. Next, we have this little mini spiral notebook. On the front, you have notes in all caps with tiny text underneath that says lined notebook and Infinite Lotus. And then flipping over, you have your contact page with 2 boxes to write your name and what you're using this for, and then 50 pages of lined notes paper. So I love these little notebooks. I've used so many of these over the years, and they're really great for taking quick notes on the go. I usually keep one of these in my work bag and in my car, but you can use this for just about anything you want to. I also like the look here. It matches my daily spiral notebook that's also by Infinite Lotus. The stark white cardstock with the black text and black rings at the top, it looks really sharp and clean in your spaces. And it lets you play around with colored page flags or ink or stickers if you choose to without having to worry about colors clashing. There's not really too much to say about these. They're super straightforward. What I would love to see though is a shop that can make a case or folio for these top spiral notebooks. They're super popular, and I think that you can get a lot more wear out of them if they were in a case, but we'll see if any shops decide to make that. But getting back to the notebook itself, it's a great little notebook to have with you on the go or to keep in your desk to jot down quick ideas. Definitely a good accessory to have on hand. The last item this month is the Uniball Zinto gel pen. This is in the color black and has a 0.38mm tip. The body is a light gray with a soft textured front barrel that makes it really comfortable to hold. It also has a silver clip in case you want to clip it to your pen holders or a spiral notebook. Doing a pen test here, it writes really nice. It's very smooth. There's no skipping. It's similar to the Uni 1 gel pens that I use in almost all of my planners, but the ink in the Zinto isn't as pigmented as the Uni 1 pen. It almost comes off as an off black or a really dark gray. I do love that it's 0.38mm. I know a lot of people don't like tips that are less than 0.5, but I am a 0.38mm nib fan for life. My handwriting is on the smaller side, so the thinner nibs always look better on my spreads. I don't have any plans to use this, but it's a solid pen and I think people will like it. And that wraps up the November Deluxe box by Infinite Lotus. So I'm really happy with this box. Lots of good functional items that I can use in my everyday planning. My favorite item this month is the order tracker inserts. It's such a great set to have on hand for the holidays and as we prep for 2026. My least favorite item are the payment tracker inserts. I just don't understand how to really use them outside of breaking purchases up into 4 payments, which may or may not make sense. As always, one of my favorite things about this subscription is the minimal aesthetic. I always look forward to the inserts and dashboards the most, and other than the payment tracker ones, I'm happy with what they chose to send. All in all, I'm rating this box an 8.5 out of 10. It's not my favorite box, but it's still full of functional tools and accessories that you can use or repurpose if you wish to. I'm really curious about December's box and what they'll close out the year with. They did widen the shipping time frame, so maybe we'll get December early. Either way, I'm really looking forward to it. And that is it, you guys. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more planning and organizational content, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram for more planner tips and inspo, sending positive vibes your way. Until next time, stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your day.